Can you repeat, Chairman?
Beg your pardon?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
March 27, 1996,
Yes, sir.
when you did you have an opportunity to speak to the President about your pipeline at that time?
Yes, I did.
Describe that discussion.
Well, it was just an introduction to the President, and he asked how I was, and I explained that I was on that project, and that most probably the project will be going to overseas workers.
Would be going where?
To overseas. It's going to be a project financed from overseas.
Did he know what you were talking about?
Yes, he knows that I discussed the pipeline with him, yes.
I mean, as of that time, did he know what you were talking about when you brought this information up?
Yes, I assume so.
Did he have a reaction to what you said?
No, he just reacted. He'd like to see jobs coming to Americans.
Okay. Did you ask him to do anything?
I didn't ask specifically. I just said that's what I'm doing.
Did you? What was your reason for bringing it up? What were you hoping for?
Well, I was introduced to the President, and that's what you discuss, what you do.
You say you didn't ask specifically. Did you ask in a more general way for his assistance?
No, I said if somebody wants to hear me out, I'm available.
All right. And did you have a chance to talk to Mr. McClarty on that same evening?
Yes.
Oh, what was your discussion with him?
Again, we were discussing oil in general.
Oil in general?
Yes.
Did you discuss your pipeline proposal?
I may have. I don't recall specifically.
Was this before or after you discussed it with the President?
I'm not sure if it was before or after.
And you don't know whether or not you discussed your pipeline idea with Mr. McClarty?
No, I said I know I have discussed it.
With Mr. McClarty?
Yes.
And what was the nature of that conversation?
It was just a general conversation of what I'm doing.
Okay. Did Mr. McClarty say that they would be back in touch with you?
Not at this event. It was at the next event which I heard that.
The next event being a coffee on April the 1st that you attended. Is that correct?
Yes.
At the White House?
Yes, sir.
You discussed it then again with Mr. McClarty. Is that correct?
Yes, for about 30 seconds before we sat down.
All right. But the meeting at the White House, or not the meeting, but the function, March 27, where you had a chance to discuss the President, was on March 27. We have exhibit number 1167, which is entitled A Memorandum for Roger Tamraz from Richard Sullivan and Ari Swiller of the DNC. Ray contributions dated March the 28th. It's the day after the White House meeting. And it purports to total up your contributions. The Virginia Democratic Party, $100,000. Virginia Legislative Conference, $25,000. Malpas for Governor of Mississippi, $20,000. Louisiana Democratic Party, $25,000. DNC, $130,000. Total of $300,000. It's on the screen if you want to look at the screen. As I said, this memorandum dated March 28, prepared by Mr. Sullivan, who is the finance person over the DNC, for you. Do you recall seeing this memorandum?
Yes, sir.
Describe the circumstances in which you saw it.
I think it was sent to me.
Was sent to you?
Yes.
What was the purpose of it being sent to you?
Because I wanted to know how much I had contributed by then.
All right. Did you ask Mr. Sullivan to prepare this list for you?
Yes.
All right. What was the reason that you wanted to know that information?
Just to keep my accounts up to date.
Do you recall when you received the information? And if you received it by mail or if it was hand-delivered?
I don't remember, sir.
Did you have it by the time you went to the coffee on April 1?
I don't remember that.
Did you show it to anyone?
No.
Did you relate the $300,000 figure to anyone?
No.
Then why did you want the information?
I said I wanted to keep my accounts up to date.
Keep your accounts up to date?
Yeah.
All right, at the April 1st coffee, you and Mr. McClarty talked, you said for 30 seconds?
Sorry?
You and Mr. McClarty talked for about 30 seconds?
Yes, sir.
About what?
There I spoke specifically about the project. I gave him a brochure. I gave him my visiting card. And I said, this is what I'm doing. If anybody's interested to talk to me about it, I'm available.
All right. And we know now from testimony yesterday that apparently Mr. McClarty, pursuant to that, sent a memorandum the next day to the President, and then he called Mr. Simpson about it. And I'm going to turn over the rest of my time to counsel, but I will make the observation that apparently that set a chain of events in motion. That conversation, your conversation with the President and Mr. McClarty, caused a call to be made to Mr. Simpson, who in turn talked to Mr. Carter, who in turn talked to Ms. Heslin. And we heard in detail the nature of the conversation between Mr. Carter and Ms. Heslin yesterday. And with that, I'll ask counsel to pick up in the remaining time we have.
And Mr. Carter, let me start with you and ask you this, and this could save us some time. Were you present here yesterday, and did you hear Ms. Heslin's testimony?
Yes, I was, and yes, I did.
So we can start now then right from this point. I want to talk to you about the call you made to Ms. Heslin in April 1996. Do you recall the date that you made that call?
No, I do not. It was sometime after April 3rd.
Would it have been April 3rd or shortly thereafter?
Yes, most likely April 4th, the morning.
Okay, and prior to that phone conversation with Ms. Heslin, did you not have a conversation with Mr. Carl Simpson, the gentleman who's sitting next to you today?
Yes, I did.
Let me put up on the screen Exhibit 1178 as I ask you the next question. Those are your handwritten notes, are they not, sir?
Yes, they are.
Okay. And while you explain the conversation you had with Mr. Simpson on April 3rd, you may, if you feel you need to, refer to those notes to support the explanation that you're going to give regarding the conversation you had with Mr. Simpson.
All right.
And would you please relate that?
The conversation with Mr. Simpson?
As it relates to Mr. Tamraz.
Yes. As I was leaving Mr. Simpson's office on April 3rd, 1976, my eye caught...
Excuse me, you mean 1996?
1996. April 3rd, 1996, my eye caught in a handwritten fashion on a pad on a desk or a table in his office the words Roger Tamraz or Oil Capital or a combination of that and some other writings. At that point, I turned to Kyle and said, what do you